welcome back, Transformer TCG fans. Yes, I actually printed some stuff out, and I got a few physical media here. But some of the stuff is official, hidden fortification, evasive maneuvers, etc., etc. But and we have some guest cards here from the Arc, Energon Hustlers and whatnot. The bigger they are, Assault Formation, Howling Howitzer, HM Laser Cannon, Grimlock Sword. A lot of fun stuff. And Buddy did the Dark Matrix. This is I think this is Energon Hustler. Yeah, their official, unofficial Matrix of Leadership, just to have an extra copy of that. Now, I've got about 9 new-ish cards here, so I don't have a lot of time. The first time I tried doing this, it went 40 minutes. Yeah, y'all don't want to sit and hear me talk with my not very easy voice to go over Transformer TCG cards. So, let's cut this down to about, let's look at 6 cards real quick. Up first is going to be the guest card, the Howling Howitzer, which is a wonderful aggressive card on all sides here. It is orange and black pip. Your range characters will get the orange on the flip. It is a weapon with +2 to attack and Pierce 1. Not a whole lot of Pierce. This is not, say, a Fusion Bore or anything crazy like that. No bold. It's just a nice middle of the ground kind of common weapon to help give you a bump, and definitely with your ranged characters for the flip. So definitely a fun, easy weapon card to throw in when you're playing with a lot of ranged characters. Okay, so up next, let's look at the genetic mutator, which we may already have once. It's very simple. It's a blank utility with nothing going for it, no attack, no defense. Maybe I should have added something. While this is on a character in alt mode, it has the beast trait. So it's going to change a character, any character equipped with the genetic mutator. They have to be in alt mode. It doesn't matter if they're a boat, motorcycle, truck, boat, car, plane, seeker, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're gonna also have the beast trait thanks to the genetic mutator. Well, Grillenheimer, what's that gonna help me for? It's even blank. Well, you're adding a trait to a character. With that can come possible advantages depending on what cards you're using. You could be using one of my base cards that gives attributes or triggers to beast trait characters. You could be playing someone else's homemade cards that can give beasts only beast traits, maybe Pierce 4 for a battle or a turn, or only beasts may only get stealth while they're untapped or something. Something silly, something different, to where you can easily just change out and, hey, say I've got a wave 5 beast. I've got someone's homemade Beast War character here in their alt mode 1 or alt mode 2 with the beast trait, and I have maybe an Autobot or Decepticon, because they all have some Pierce together, or they all have some bold together, or some flipping abilities that nicely trigger. Well, in the meantime, because you have 2 characters with the beast trait, you may have some things, zone card, base card, plot action card, whatever that might help beast traits. Well, now you put this on your 3rd character, they all have the beast trait. And normally the beast traits are in their alt modes already, so you don't need it for those other 2, but you can have it for this character. If these 2 get KO'd, you still have this one. You can still get the genetic mutator on that character while in alt mode, and be able to get the whatever for the cards you still have in your deck, despite your real beast trait characters have been KO'd and knocked out. So something simple, something to weasel in certain decks when you're looking at certain traits on the fresher side of things. Maybe this does need a color pip. Maybe this does need a little oomph, like maybe a +1 to attack on the utility side here. Let me know. This is always in flux. But for the most part, the genetic mutator is blank as it comes, and adding the beast trait to a character while in alt mode. They can still flip to bot mode, but then in the genetic mutator does not get scrapped. But they're just not going to have a beast trait anymore. Flip them back, get that when this flips, whatever pulled off, boom. This is still on them. Now they have the beast trait back. It's just as if they're also a beast truck and a ranged character while in alt mode now, and then like, you know, ranged or melee in their bot mode or whatever. So it's just that simple. Okay, so let's look at Stolen Cog is the first one I did, and it's one of the last cards, I think, well, not really, that Buddy and I came together, and we may have collectively done this, and I may have finalized it, and we both agreed, and we really liked that card, and it was really neat, because what we were trying to do is prevent your opponent from flipping for turn. So what originally, before I created base cards, before we knew anything about zone cards, I still don't know how to play those. I haven't printed any of them out. I apologize. Or plot actions or anything else that a lot of other people have been creating and making and adding to the game. With that, you know, what starts your game, starts your turn, you draw a card. Well, still, even if you have, say, a base card in your hand, you play it first, and then you draw for turn. Okay? Of course, that's not a base card. But either way, you draw for turn, then if you played this and your opponent just drew, Stolen Cog gets revealed. It's going to stay there until they attack, because they cannot flip for turn. The only way they're going to be able to flip any characters now, because Stolen Cog, is going to have to be through an escape route, through UFO, or through oh gosh, it just slipped my tongue. The white card, white pip card, where you can flip anybody either direction. It doesn't matter. It's just, golly, it's on the tip of my tongue. I remember it the first time I recorded this, but now all of a sudden I can't. But it was almost there and I lost it. So that's the point. And most of the time, you may be playing an opponent that does not flip hardly. They'll get their characters into bot mode, and they're going to sit them in bot mode, and it might as well just be Robotech versus you playing Transformers if you're flipping once per turn for each turn, you know. And they're just sitting there all in bot mode. Oh, well, look at me. Boom, 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 boom. Attack, attack, attack. If that's how they want to play, that's fine. That's not how I play. I actually will try to do, flip once per turn, even if it's not exactly to my advantage, or flip someone in the KO exactly. We'll get to that in another video. I don't have that up here. Yes, I do. Still active. So with that is Stolen Cog, and we've gone over that before. But Cog is the real new one. Now, Stolen Cog is black and blue with the Titan on the blue. Cog is white and black with the Titan on the white. So this is, depending on if you're playing with Triptychon or Metroplex or any other Titan characters that someone has made since, July 20th, 2020, whatever, that this is a good way to set up a defensive deck for your Titans, because Cog can go on anybody. I did not say put on Titans only. Anybody can have a Cog. And that even makes sense in the Transformer world. So while only your Titans are going to be able to get the flip 2 more on the flip, this is going to give Pierce to anybody. It's a nice Pierce card, because when this is on a utility and is on a character, that doesn't work. Let's use Trigger Happy. And you have a Cog on Trigger Happy, and Trigger Happy flips for turn, it has Pierce 3 for battle now. Well, he also has Pierce 4, so boom, that's Pierce 7. But he only has an attack of 2. He's going to need something else here and some orange in the flip. So to be able to try to get that attack of 7, Pierce 7. Otherwise, you only flip a couple of oranges. He has an attack of 4, Pierce 7. It's still only Pierce 4. And that's just right off the character card here, his Pierce 4. So, you know, things to think about. Make sure you have enough orange to be able to warrant to be able to get the full Pierce, whether it is Trigger Happy or anybody else. So, you know, you flip them, you're going to get Pierce 3. So that is Cog. Just basically wanted to also mention Stolen Cog yet again. So I guess that's kind of 7 cards for this video. But it's an old one. We've gone over this before. It's nothing new. But it's just really cool. That's also the episode where from G1 where Swindle really confronts First Aid about being a pacifist. And it's like, we're at war. Why aren't you fighting me? And he was really ticked off and trying to get First Aid to fight him, and he wouldn't. Speaking of which, let's segue to Still Active, because I mentioned this as a white pip action card. When you flip a leader character to bot mode while in the KO, a character with the same faction as the leader in the KO has bold 3 for battle. So this might work. Now let's just pretend I only have a whole 3 characters at the table. So let's just pretend Mongzo is a character. Trigger Happy is in my KO. Don't ask me why. This is just an example. And let's say Trigger Happy is a leader. I have Still Active. I play Still Active for turn. Trigger Happy being a leader. Of course, he's really not. I know that. Flip him to bot mode. It's going to give Mongzo bold 3. Tap him and he gets bold 3. If he's got, you know, I don't know, Brass Knuckles and a Flamethrower, he's going to get a whole lot more bold. You give him you have maybe Brainstorm, play Still Active, and Supercharge. Flip your leader in the KO, tap your character. That's a whole lot of bold. That's just a whole lot of bold. If you're playing that casual, because if I remember correctly, ATP about 2 or 3 waves ago, like their wave 7 or 8, they're like for their tournaments, and we're banning Brainstorm. It's too strong. So I've mentioned that before, but funny things I remember. But there's that's Still Active, and it's again giving you purpose to flip in the KO. Okay, so your leader is still kicking, so to speak. Let's look at Flynet next. It's a white pip for your ranged characters on the flip. So only your ranged characters are going to be able to flip 2 more off of this. Otherwise, it's just pretty much a blank pip card for everybody else. But it is a utility with no attack, no defense. When you put this on a ranged character, like Trigger Happy, what happens? Tap a 5-star or less enemy character. So yes, if your opponent has Mongzo, you just knocked off the body. Mongzo is whether he's tapped. If he has to be untapped. And you have Trigger Happy, and you put on the Flynet, Mongzo gets tapped. Okay, and then you can have Trigger Happy go into Mongzo. So if you're complaining about the Tank Master gimmick, Flynet. Oh, sorry, I was a little loud. Flynet kind of fixes that, and your opponent's not going to be happy. But the image here is, I think it was Prowl's net that he threw, and he captured Laserbeak with it. So I'm like, okay, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, tapping another character, that needs a star, and I'm like, oh good grief. If you're playing against somebody that is 3 wide, they probably do not have a 5-star character more times out of not. If they are a too tall team, Flynet's going to do nothing for you other than maybe more flips with a ranged character like Trigger Happy here. If they're a one team, a one tall with like a Metroplex, Triptychon, Omega Supreme, whoever, Fort Max, then you might be able to, if it's Fort Max, then you might be able to. That's a different story, but you can see where I'm going with. Then this is a dead card in your deck, so maybe this is a decent card for sideboarding. I don't know. It is strong. Of course, we do have some secret actions. I think there's one official or two. If an opponent plays a card that tries to tap your character, yada yada, it won't happen, or you get to untap another character or something strange. I know there's some neat secret actions that are out there that are official or homemade. So there is that. And then we have one more left. Let's look at some matrices. I want to look at the Matrix of Chaos, but we've got, I did the Tainted Matrix, which is put on Decepticons only. While this is on a leader, each of your other characters has +1 for defense. After the equipped character battles, do 1 damage to the equipped character. So Tainted Matrix, we're going in the realm of the Tainted Matrix along with the Matrix of Leadership in a way. And mixing up even, well, I thought Buddy's Dark Matrix had +1 defense, but it does not. His is also Decepticons only, while on a leader, each of your other characters has Bold 1 and Pierce 2. So there's that. And of course, the original Matrix of Leadership, of course, this is Energon Hustlers. It's going to give +2 attack and plus Pierce 1 for all your other characters when this is on one of your leaders. So there's those ideas right there. But the Matrix of Chaos, maybe this deserves a star, maybe not, because now we have 2 hybrid pip colors up here, orange and black and blue and green. It's hard to see, but it's blue and green. When it comes to hybrid pip colors, I normally don't like adding the traits on there because with the traits on there, it's kind of hard to see what the trait is because of the hybrid pip color. So, but this is, I made the Matrix of Chaos a bit of an exception here. So on the top one, that is a Decepticon symbol. On the orange and black, when you play it for battle, you're going to have to call both of them. So that's going to be, I won't say problematic, but it might be interesting. It might be fun. So with the Matrix of Chaos having a little green on here, only the Autobots can get this on the flip if you call this green. If you play this when you're defending and you want this blue on the flip, you're not going to be able to swap it for battle. Okay. But the Decepticons, it's going to give them aggressive orange or black. So I kind of like this. Put on a leader only. It is a utility that gives +1 to attack, +1 to defense, which a lot of these don't. This one is not going to help your other characters. Number 1. These do. These don't have stars. This is only going to help the equipped character for 1. But let's see what but wait, there's more. The equipped character gets Pierce for every 2 hybrid pip cards flipped for battle. I had one in here. Okay, it's one that we haven't gone over yet. It's the Hydro Spanner. And let's just pretend that, let's say, let's pick up a few of these that have two pip colors on them and just say they're hybrid even though they're not. So let's do this. You got the Matrix of Chaos on a leader. I can't use the characters that up here because they're really not leader characters. I got Nautica and Trigger Happy for a different exercise, for a different example. But say you have this on a, well, he's small enough. But let's say Mongzo is a leader. Let's pretend he's Optimus Prime. He's an 11-star Optimus Prime. He's got the Matrix of Chaos on him, and we flip him for attack. 1, 2, call that white. Flip 2 more, and 1 for a bold for something he's got on or something else. Just for an example here. Well, then if we say pretend that these are all hybrid pip cards, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Since I do not say anything about rounding down nor rounding up, you're going to get 1, 2. That's Pierce. So you're going to get 2 extra Pierce on top of the 1, 2, 3. We called that one white. So, oh well, that's at least Pierce 5. All right. So, just to be, and it's going to give it a little added Pierce when you're only playing with hybrid pip cards. There's not that many, but I have made, and I'll show some up on the screen. I've made a good many. I've tried to churn these out somewhat. And there might be some other homemade cards out there as well. So, but then when this is scrapped, do 2 damage to the equipped character. Of course, well, it's not going to be equipped anymore. But when this I may need to reword that, but when this gets scrapped, he's going to get hit by 2. And for poor Monzo, I mean, he's not a leader anyway. He would be just KO'd. But you wouldn't want this on Monzo anyway. But it can't go on him. Because put on leaders only. So being a leader, they're probably going to have plenty of health most of the time. Maybe not all the time. It gets scrapped, damage them by 2. Okay. If I need to reword this a different way, I probably need to. Like maybe do 2 damage to the unequipped character. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's fine the way I have this. While this is scrapped, when this is scrapped, excuse me, do 2 damage to the equipped character. So, if it's officially scrapped, it's on the character, do 2 damage, scrap the card. Duh. So we got to go over a few things. We got to go look at still active, genetic mutator, matrix of chaos. We looked at cog. We looked at the flynet. Here's the flynet. And we did have one little guest card of the Howling Howitzer. So that's all I have time for. We got some more stuff here. We've got some more stuff. We'll see you next time. I don't have time for anything else right now. We'll see. And if you like this content, throw scraplets at that like button. We'll catch you next time. Have a blessed day. And as always, Autobots flip out and let's roll for it.